These are England's elite, prime UK talent and the best employees there are, all highly ambitious and looking for that next giant leap forward on their road to success. Each is registered on the books of rawmeat.com, the UK's leading top recruitment consultants, where human fodder is churned for cash, slaves sold for labour, and the British Bulldog is primed for market. And right now, rawmeat.com's biggest client, the technology giant AlphasRUs, is looking for a new ultra-dynamic managing director. The team at rawmeat.com have received an urgent request to fulfil this job placement with the very best candidate. And to add spice to the task, they have 7 days in which to do it. So, let's meet the team, the UK's brightest and best recruitment consultants. The team is led by CEO Andy Schwarzenegger, formerly the MD of the UK's leading recruitment specialist, Michael Rage, before building his very own business. Andy is notorious in the industry for his catchphrase, "Hunt for heads, not for reds." Andy's number 2 is Muhammad Azzi, the VP and the guy who has been specifically tasked with finding the very best candidates for AlphasRUs. Muhammad cut his teeth in the property industry and sold in excess of $100 billion of Florida real estate in 24 hours. And as Muhammad will tell you, even today this remains a world record. And finally we have Mike Bison. Mike started his career in the top-end Knightsbridge market before successfully leading the charge to strengthen the entire senior management team for the fast food giant McDonald's. Behind the scenes, the first-class recruitment team has already drawn up a specification for the job role that will enable them to find the best candidate to fill the managing director vacancy at AlphasRUs. The key characteristics that they have identified are a degree in being the managing director of AlphasRUs from Oxford University, 30 years experience in a company as big as the market-leading AlphasRUs, MD experience in the AlphasRUs technology industry, experience of leading, motivating and inspiring a highly effective, cohesive and vibrant team of 750,000 employees worldwide, essential experience with the utilisation of AlphasRUs' bespoke automated process management system. The total job specification included 175 key attributes, which was extended to 591 following a review by the main board at AlphasRUs. Now, the task in hand turns swiftly and directly to the essential and urgent need to find the right man or woman to fulfill this exciting role. So, the shortlist is drawn up and 40 of the city's finest, high-profile, highly driven and extremely ambitious candidates are identified. However, on closer review, the VP and project leader, Muhammad Azzi, notifies the CEO, Andy Schwarzenegger, that none of them meet any of the 591 criteria. However, all of them did go to Eton. Andy leaps into action and demands that all 40 candidates, regardless, must attend their offices for an interview to be held either tomorrow or the following day latest. And whilst the secretaries hit the phones, the senior team rejig the criteria. Behind closed doors, Andy decides to refocus his team and outlines his winning formula for selecting elite talent. As Andy says, if they say yes to an interview, just get them in. Look for the tallest, loudest, meanest and most muscular. Within the top brass debate, Muhammad interjects with a fine question. What about the women? But as Andy says, no chance. Small muscles and they aren't tall enough. The day of the interviews dawns and our top recruitment consultancy is ready, willing and able. The doors are open and soon the elite candidates will be rolling in. Andy is keen to keep abreast of the progress, knowing the urgency and importance of fulfilling this position. With a top recruit for a highly prestigious industry-leading client, and as Andy rightly points out to his team, there's a 40% commission in this. But as the day rolls forward, the clients are few and far between, and on closer inspection, Andy learns that the shortlist included candidates from Australia, China, Vietnam, Tibet and Japan. Clearly, they couldn't get here in time, but more importantly, as Andy states, they're not tall enough over there. After an extensive 20-second conversation with Aziz, Andy relieves his VP of the project leader role and, once again, springs into action. He recognises that the confidence of his internal team is waning, and hence he takes decisive action. He asks for the files for all candidates over the age of 14 who are currently on their books to be brought to him. And within the hour, a new shortlist of high calibre clients is drawn up and scheduled for interview the following day. The 7-day deadline is now fast approaching, and the team know that the appointment must be made by close of business tomorrow. Andy has pulled a master stroke and told the recruits that he is laying on a cheese and wine networking event in which the cream of Britain will be attending. What a chance to exchange numbers with the elite and compare Rolex watches. The candidates begin to filter in, and by midday Andy begins to establish whether their man, the best of Britain's prime meat, has walked through the door. As he says, "Any tall ones?" The day begins to draw to its conclusion, and the team are facing a dawning reality that the deadline will not be met. But at the 11th hour, prime meat walks through the door in the shape of 30-year-old, 7 foot, 2 inch tall, muscle-clad, hefty heathen Brad Sledgehammer. The interview goes well, and Andy asks if he has a loud voice. And our man, Hammer for short, can be heard booming down the corridor. CEO Andy leaps in the air and quickly grabs his calculator. 600,000 quid, he quietly quips, working out his 40% commission on a salary package that he knows he can force up north of £1.5 million. The next day, Brad Sledgehammer accepts the role, and the senior board at AlphasRUs are delighted. And Brad is young. At 30, he has 10 years before his testosterone will dry up and he'll be thrown onto the UK employee scrap heap. Once again, the recruitment giant rawmeat.com gets its man and chains him to the corporate slaughterhouse of senior British bulldog power. Brad Sledgehammer will take up his role as the managing director of the UK's leading technology colossus, fully equipped to become their new man of war, booming out the latest policy. No loudspeaker needed, muscles rippling across the employee engagement landscape of AlphasRUs. As the very pleased CEO of the techno colossus remarked, "Good man, he is tall, isn't he?"